Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Now, the latest Fox 61 weather impact forecast.
Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10 on this Christmas Eve. I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Glad you're here. We're just 2 hours away from Christmas morning, so let's get a check-in with meteorologist Deshaun Robinson for a first look at your holiday forecast. Hi, Deshaun.
Hey guys, well, tomorrow we are looking at lots of sunshine for Christmas Day, and the sunny weather will basically continue into Thursday and Friday. So we are looking at a rather quiet weather pattern. It is quiet across much of the northeast and the mid-Atlantic. We have that area of high pressure that is just causing all that dry air across our area. So currently our temperatures are sitting in the mid to upper 20s, about 28 in Chester, about 26 in Hartford, and 28 degrees right now in Waterbury. Now tonight we are looking at a partly cloudy night, but these clouds are likely to clear out by the break of dawn. A low temperature near 19, so not as cold as the last few nights. Then as we head into Christmas Day, again, lots of sunshine is in the forecast. It will be a beautiful day to enjoy the outdoors, a high near 34 degrees, so slightly cooler than today. Now the sunny weather will persist for the next 3 days, and look at the gradual warming trend. 34 for a high on Christmas, 36 on Thursday, and boy, 40 by the time we get into Friday. Coming up, I'll let you know more about the warmer temperatures that are ahead for next week. Bridget?
Just in time for the new year. All right, Deshaun, thank you. And this is a reminder of the dangers of frigid temperatures. If you need help staying warm, call 211. Workers can help you find a shelter or a warming center near you. They can even arrange free transportation to and from. Again, you can call 211 or visit their website, 211ct.org. A barn fire in Columbia produced lots of smoke and flames. The fire was reported on Pine Street this morning. We're not sure how this fire started or if there were any injuries, but firefighters from neighboring towns came in to respond to provide extra manpower. Some of those crews were there for several hours. We reached out to the fire officials for an update, and we're still waiting to hear back. And tonight in Manchester, tenants of a condo complex are having a rough holiday season. They've been dealing with electricity problems for nearly a month now, and they're now calling on state lawmakers for help. Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst spoke with tenants at the Lawton Gardens.
Residents are still really frustrated tonight after weeks of power problems here at this condo complex in Manchester. This huge generator behind me, the only reason this building still has any power on Christmas Eve.
It's a sound people at Lawton Gardens in Manchester are now accustomed to.
It's just been a huge problem, one thing after another.
This generator is the only thing powering one of these two condominium buildings after the complex lost power November 29th.
We had power flicker 5 times over the weekend. I was outside, the circuit breaker blew. Caused some sparks and noise. So both buildings were without power. Eversource came, reset the circuit breaker each time. And it would just blow again. Neighbors say the power began to flicker and surge on November 21st. Multiple people tell Fox 61 they lost electricity for as many as 5 days.
Power doesn't come in, and then my refrigerator, my freezer and my refrigerator both is, when I open, and then I realize, oh, it's like smell it.
Mohsin Kadwala sent us these photos of spoiled food and hundreds of dollars lost after his power was out for a week. He and his neighbors at Lawton Gardens say Eversource workers came to the complex multiple times to reset circuit breakers in late November. They tell us only one of the buildings was successfully fixed. The day after Thanksgiving, the front building lost power for good. Lawton Gardens management paid out of pocket to rent a generator for the building. Those who live here say the generator costs $600 a day, and that doesn't include the diesel fuel.
Each condo unit is being assessed $3,000 just to cover the cost of this.
The generator has now been running for nearly a month to keep power going to this building, as Eversource still hasn't fixed the issue. That's why condo owners reached out to their state representative, Jeff Luxembourg, for help.
Eversource just had a list of never-ending excuses. And I don't think, any of them passed the smell test.
In an email to Fox 61, an Eversource spokesperson says the issues at Lawton Gardens are, quote, related to a problem with customer-owned equipment. They added, quote, as soon as we were made aware of the situation, we began working with the customer to address it. There was a slight delay last week due to weather, but we've expedited the necessary work. But Luxembourg and those who live here say this should have been fixed long before the holidays.
And Eversource tells me they will have the full repairs fixed for the complex here by this Thursday. Reporting in Manchester, Emma Wolforst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Emma, thank you. Christmas is almost here. It's a day where we spend time with our families, in our homes, and with food on our table. But it's not always this way for some people in our community. Fox 61's Kayla Kay spoke with a local man who experienced this firsthand.
His name is Garrett Baker. 3 Christmases ago, he spent the season on the streets of Waterbury. Now, he's able to come home to a warm bed and can spend Christmas with his friends.
So where I was sitting, we just ran out of money.
It happened in 2021 when Garrett Baker's life took a turn for the worse.
Using drugs and alcohol throughout my life just basically shattered it. Started with a DUI, my first one.
He ended up in jail for 45 days.
That landed me homeless because I didn't have enough money to get my car out of impound, and I lost my job, and my family's passed, so I had no one to turn to. And I didn't want to be a burden on any of my friends.
So he left and walked from New Haven to Waterbury. He roamed around the city for 3 months.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. And I talked to people that were out here for years, and I don't know how they did it, It's miserable,
But one day, he was forced to defend himself when he says someone picked a fight with him and left him with a scar on his cheek.
He was in my face, and then he quickly just slashed me. Every day I look at it, and that's another reminder, about how dangerous it is.
Throughout his time on the street, Baker tried to stay awake as long as possible. He couldn't avoid sleeping, so he walked to CHD Hospitality Center to find a place to lay his head.
I slept under the stairs of the building, and it was cold, rainy nights.
And he learned that he could use the organization's support.
They'll give you a shower, there's coffee in the morning. That's a good place to, if you need help, to go to.
And eventually, Baker was able to find employment. The same day he ran out of money, Baker's friends saw him sitting on a block of concrete on East Main Street and offered him a job as a dishwasher at Johnny B's roadside saloon.
They offered me full time after about an hour of working, and so I was dedicated. I walked. If I didn't, couldn't get on the bus, I walked, and a few miles, rain or shine.
The restaurant became more than just a job. It was a place that helped him take care of himself.
I had a abandoned truck in the back. They had firewood in it, and I would sleep in that. And then I would get up and, and go to work and, wash up in their bathroom.
One of his coworkers even gave him a blanket, which now lays on his chair in his living room.
I used it when I was sleeping outside, and I'll never forget her for that.
Baker made it to a sober house after realizing working somewhere with a bar wasn't the best choice. That's where he found someone who gave him yet another blessing.
Grateful for him, Yeah, he blessed me with a van. Couldn't have done it without him. Couldn't have done it without God and everyone else.
Baker now works in construction and says he has everything he could ask for, except for 2 things.
Not married and I have no family, but that's something that I'm looking forward to, doing.
And he hopes to own a house soon.
It's quite something from living under the stairs, to into a house, but it was It's quite the journey, I must say.
Even though he is reminded of this chapter in his life, Baker still comes around here to donate to people through organizations like Feed Me Ministries. In Waterbury, Kayla Cade, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.